So in this demo, we are going to show how to install the application part or application tier of SAP, an SAP NetWeaver in general, or S/4HANA specifically, that is based on SAP NetWeaver. In this case, we will install an S/4HANA 1909. So we will use the servers in the demo for the HANA deployment. So as if you remember, there was another host that was dedicated to this S/4HANA installation. If we go to host, just to look at it again, we have these two HANA servers where we deploy the database, and we have this S/4HANA servers with its own variables. So these are the file systems that will be created for the installation of SAP. Okay, so that points to the path where the software of S/4HANA is, and also we will find there the template with all the parameters that we need to deploy the NetWeaver or S/4HANA application, like the product ID, which, as you can see here, it tells you that it's an S/4HANA 1909 version. Okay, so if we go back to our template, we have created this one just for the, if you can see here, limited to the S/4HANA host, because we are not going to do anything on the HANA host in this demo because we have installed the databases there already. We go to the workflow visualizer. We can see the only two steps that we're going to run. So this one is the SAP NetWeaver pre-configure, as we saw in the other video. These are the nodes, the SAP nodes, that are relevant only to hosts that will host a NetWeaver or S/4HANA application, and then we'll do the deployment of S/4HANA directly. So let's close this and let's just trigger the workflow. As we saw before, we can always take a look at the details at the log as it progresses. So now it's applying all the nodes for an SAP NetWeaver application. This will last a bit because there are a few nodes as well. And then the installation of the S/4HANA will take around 40 minutes. So let's first see what it does here. In the meantime, we can take a look at the servers. Okay. So I'm still logged onto the Bastion, right? So the YAML host from where I can either access the HANA servers or the S/4HANA server. Let me look into the S/4HANA one. It's here, and if we look at the file systems, okay, we have here the file systems already prepared for the for the NetWeaver installation. But we will call it, this installation will be called as the HANA installation, so RHE. So at the moment there will be no RHE user if we want to change to it, because the installation has not begun yet. Okay, we're just applying all the recommendations. But what we can do is check with Subscription Manager. We can check the repos to which the server has been connected. So that was done. If you remember in the other video, in one of the first steps, we used the playbook to subscribe to the RHEL for SAP repos for all the servers, for the HANA servers and for the S/4HANA servers. Okay, so here we have all the repos that we need for a SAP workload installation. So this one, for example, RHEL update services for SAP solutions, RHEL for SAP updated for SAP solutions, and of course the RHEL repository. So with this we have access to all the software, all the packages, everything that is needed to fine-tune the server and make it compliant to the SAP nodes. And yes, also not in this one, because in this server we are not going to deploy later on the pacemaker cluster. But if we go to the HANA servers, we will be able to see also the high availability repos that are there. So let me connect back to one of the HANA servers. Okay, they're not yet here. Okay, yes, because those repos will be, the system, the host will be registered once we run the playbooks to enable or create the cluster. So in that video, we will see that those repos have been added. Okay, so let's take a look back at the tower and let's see if the node application has finished. Yes, so the SAP NetWeaver preconfigure role has finished correctly, so it has applied all the nodes that are needed for an application server of these characteristics. Okay, so now if we go back to the main one, it will be deploying the database, the application. Okay. Creating the directory to store the template with all the parameters for the installation, copying passwords, and now it's installing. So yeah, as I said, this will take some like 40 minutes, and once it is installed, we'll be able to see the server and see all the processes, SAP processes, etc. So the playbook has finished now. It has performed the installation of the S/4HANA, so the application, and we can see no errors here, so everything is fine, successful. And what we can do now is go to the servers and check that actually the processes are there, the users are there. So okay, we are already logged onto the S/4HANA server as root. So let's try to change to the installation user. And now we are able to do it, so that's a good sign. And if we check the processes running under this user, we can see all the SAP processes. There you go, so all the dialog work processes and everything is there. Okay, and we can also connect with the SAP GUI. We can try to see and get inside of SAP. I have created an entry already in my SAP login. And this is what we can see. So this is the admin user that I created. We log into it. And there we go. We have our installation of S/4HANA 1909. We'll look at the status of the system. We can see here the server name, everything, the release of the HANA database, and what's been installed. So let's log into the SAP GUI, to the graphical interface. I have created an entry for the system already there. So now we can see our system. Log into it. We can actually see that the system is accessible. We can run some transactions. So for example, we can go to the DBA cockpit and see what's in there. Right, we can see the database that's been installed, all the information about it, current status, overview, performance, and everything. So yeah, here we have our S/4HANA 1909 system completely deployed with just one click. So it also saves a lot of headaches to the SAP basis administrator. So I hope you enjoyed this and that it will be useful to you.